out and go across the road?
Ja.
Just in there. Hi, I'm Pete Goffwood, Kitchen Cowboy and Men's Health Food Guy. We're down here at the Neighbourhood Goods Market on quite a hectic Saturday morning, knocking out some good steak sandwiches, nice bit of rump. Today we're going to be talking about the perfect steak sandwich, a little bit about steaks. It's getting a bit mental here, so I'm going to finish off here and we'll see you back at the studio. Cheers. Right, excellent. Now that we've got a little bit more time on our hands, we're going to look at some serious steak today. A little bit about cooking, about what to buy, what to look for, and we're going to finish off with the ultimate steak sandwich. We're going to use a little bit of rump, which is one of my favorite cuts. Now, there's a lot of talk about seasoning of your steak, whether or not you put your salt and pepper on before you put it in the pan, or even in the braai for that matter, or do you put it on afterwards? There are two schools of thinking, and one is complete nonsense, and the other one is to season it first. And one of the reasons we season it first is that the salt does start to just draw a little bit of the juices out of the meat, but that's exactly what we want, because as that meat hits the pan, those juices form a nice little crust and help to give that special meatiness to the meat. Whereas if you're going to put the salt on afterwards, what you end up with is a salty steak as opposed to a beautifully seasoned, crusty steak. So now we're going to get a little bit of oil in our pan, and as you can see, nice smoking hot. That's what we're after. We're just going to pop that in. You can hear that sizzle. Really is, that's how you know. If you're not getting that sizzling sound, your pan is not hot enough. Okay, that's our steak pretty much done. We're remembering now to let it rest. We're going to let it rest here for a couple of seconds. Just an issue on degree of doneness. A lot of the nutrients and a lot of the flavor are in the blood, so you try not to cook it over more than medium unless you really can't stomach the sight of blood. But that really is where a lot of the flavor is, and certainly what's left of the minerals are still in the steak when it's nice and medium rare. Like any sandwich, the filling is important, but just as important as the filling is the bread. So we're going to take these beautiful ciabatta rolls. You can't make a good sandwich out of cut bread, so we're going to just nice bit of bread, and then we're going to just a little bit of olive oil. Nice healthy alternative than to using butter, because you don't need much. There's enough fat in the sandwich that you really don't need lashings of butter on something like this. A little drizzle of extra virgin is all you need. And then we're just going to slice some tomatoes. There we go, some sliced tomato. And we've got some lovely wild rocket, which we'll... So we want a nice bit of, at least there's a healthy element to this, a nice bit of greens in here, nice bit of raw vegetables. Get that on there. Okay. Now, we're also going to use some Dijon mustard. This is also largely about preference. Personally, I like the nice bite of a good Dijon. If you want something hot and fiery like an English mustard, do so. Or if you're more of a mayonnaise or sweet chili, this is kind of where you personalize your steak sandwich. For me, I like the steak and mustard is always a good combination for me. So we just put a nice bit of mustard there. And then one of the things that we also use with our steak sandwiches, just to add a sweet element to us, is we're going to do a nice onion marmalade, which we'll put on top of the steak once we've sliced it. And that also is just to add some texture and a little bit of richness to the dish. Okay, so our steak's having rested. So what we're going to do here is we're going to slice the sandwich up, the steak. And one of the reasons we do that is it's much easier to eat than having an entire chunk of meat on a sandwich. And you also find that you don't quite need quite the humongous piece of a slab of steak that you do for a sandwich. Spreads out nicely, a good bit of meat. And then we're just going to say, we'll finish this off with a little bit of onion marmalade. So now we've got our steak sandwich, which we're just going to cut in half. There we go, nice steak sandwich. And of course, a perfect accompaniment to the steak sandwich is a good ice cold beer. And that's pretty much it, guys. Nice and simple, nice and easy, but quite a mouthful. Cheers.